College football playoff madness. Are the Eagles Super Bowl bound? And the quarterfinals for the in-season tournament start Monday. Join us on episode 46 of the Final Seconds.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas everywhere you go.
And we're back on episode 46 of the Final Seconds with Eli. How was your Thanksgiving break?
It was a great break, much needed. 5 days off of school. It was, the first 3 days were great. Saturday wasn't so great. Sunday was just not so great. And then this week has not been so great. What about you?
I would say everything was all right. Saturday was definitely rough, and I was kind of over the loss by like 5 o'clock Saturday
I don't know
night.
how you do that, but good for
And
you.
I live in Indiana, so I don't have to hear about Ohio State game. I heard about more Purdue and IU. So,
and I think I would have too if I was not living in Ann Arbor practically.
Yeah.
So it's a tough one. It's okay.
Yeah,
I'm over it for the most part. Hopping right into things. Recap from last week: 5 Washington defeats 11 Oregon State. Oh shoot! Gosh darn it! I was looking at the script. I printed out the wrong script. I printed out last week's script for anybody wondering. Recap from last week: number 6 Oregon defeats number 16 Oregon State 31-7. Was Oregon State overrated?
Oregon's really good.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, start off with this. Oregon State's coach did a great job. He's going to Michigan State. I think you saw that, right?
Yeah.
Their head coach. But I think they're a good team. But Oregon's good. They've after that loss from Washington, they've killed every team. Bo Nix is probably going to win the Heisman.
I wouldn't be so sure about that.
Who do you think's going to win the Heisman?
You think he's going to win it?
Yeah, right now he's like the front runner.
I think Jaden Daniels is going to win it.
The only reason I think if Oregon wins this week and goes to college football playoffs, he's winning. Just because LSU has 3 losses. He dealt with some injuries, Daniels. But those are my thoughts.
Yeah. No, that's understandable. I think Oregon State, they weren't overrated. I just think Oregon was so good. I think Oregon was underrated. I think it was a fluke that they lost to Washington, and unfortunately, I think they will crush them this week.
They should have beat Washington. I mean, it was at Washington, so tough environment, but they missed the game-winning field goal.
That's true. Yeah, they could have beat. I really would have preferred it that they beat Washington, honestly.
Yeah. So.
But it's okay. Past in the past.
Yep.
Number 3 Michigan defeats number 2 Ohio State 30-24. What's the future for Ryan Day? And is Michigan winning the national championship? No. I don't think Michigan's going to win the national championship. I think they would not beat Georgia. I think they would not beat Oregon. I think they would not beat Texas. I think they would beat Washington and Florida State. I don't think they would beat any of those other teams.
I think it's either them or Georgia winning it. I think they can. I think they could though. I think this is their year to win it. They got a really good team. I mean, arguably they got the most complete team in college football right now. I mean, Georgia's a lot younger. I'm not counting out Georgia. I think the national championship is gonna be Georgia and the Wolverines. But my dad's cheering for the Wolverines to win just so he can make some big bucks through Fanatics, big market.
Oh, I don't know. I don't think Georgia, I just don't have that much confidence in Michigan. I just think Kyle McCord is overrated, and it's tough to go into Michigan and win there. Plus, Ryan Day is, I'm not blaming it on him, but He's not fired up, it feels like. In that Georgia game last year in the playoffs, he was so fired up. He was hype, you could tell. He was on the sidelines, he was yelling, he was screaming, he was involved. I have not seen him like that any other time.
Yeah, I think
Not to
I
that
think
level. I've seen
I
him
think
excited, but nothing like that.
yeah, I think he's trying to make it like a normal game. He doesn't want players to get overhyped and get all nervous because it's like a different game. Like he's trying to
I
treat it
think
like
he
a
should do
normal
that.
game. It is a big game. It's the biggest game on both team schedules every year. Like, they're
Yeah,
doing all these workouts in January just to beat, you know, your rivals. So I think it is a big deal. I think, Ryan Day, the loss wasn't all on him. I mean,
I know.
the Buckeyes had a chance to win it. The last 2 years we got killed. And this year we actually had a chance in the fourth quarter. Unfortunately we threw a pick. But like
Yeah,
it was an evenly matched game. Like the Wolverines would go up and we would go down and score. It was even, like it was a lot of back and forth. It was a very even match. Like both of these teams, I think if you played 10 times, I think it would go 5, or I think both teams would win 5 games. I think they're both really well matched, both really good defenses, um, both really good offenses with good running backs. But I think Ryan Day, his record against the Wolverines is definitely hurts
it
him,
shows.
especially.
Yeah,
But the thing is, like next year, this game's not going to really matter. I mean, if next year both teams are undefeated, and if
yeah,
the same scenario happens, let's just say Wolverines beat us, they'll get the bye week, which is great. But we'll
yeah.
get a home playoff game against whoever is the 12 or 11 seed. And I mean, you still make the playoffs. You still have a good shot of winning the championship.
Yeah,
And the Big Ten championships all combined. So say Ohio State and the Wolverines are both at the top again. Well, they're going to be playing in the Big Ten championship. So you're going to have 2 back-to-back weeks of us playing each other.
that's gonna be wild next year, and they will be too. Washington, UCLA, USC,
But
Oregon. None of those teams are gonna be as good as they were this year. Next year, they're all losing their quarterbacks.
yeah,
UCLA is the only team that could be solid. I don't think UCLA is losing their quarterback.
yeah, I don't think they are, but I don't think they're going to be great.
No,
But
no, but
also the
they'll
Big Ten
be.
is a lot better than the Pac-12.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
Ohio State, Wolverines, and Penn State are all pretty good teams. I don't know who's going to represent. Like Iowa's, I guess, decent. I don't know if Wisconsin will ever get good. We'll see, but
Wisconsin used to be good, but
yeah, they
not
got to get a
anymore.
running back. Luke Fickle just struggled his first year.
Yep, and that's understandable.
Yeah.
Yeah. 8 Alabama defeats Auburn 27-24. What was Auburn doing? For those of you who did not see the last play, Auburn was winning by 4 points. It was 4th and goal at the 31-yard line, so they needed 31 yards to score a touchdown. So it was just a Hail Mary, and he threw it to the back corner of the end zone, back left, and it was caught. It was a caught pass, touchdown, Alabama won.
Mm-hmm.
That's complete madness. That's terrible coaching, terrible.
No.
The DB got a little bit pushed off of, but like, what in that situation, what are you doing? Take the PI.
Yeah. Either take the PI, but like I don't know what Auburn's defense is doing. They're rushing 2, and that was it. Everyone else dropped back. Like
And they
you,
let up the touch. And Milrow had been under pressure from just 4 guys all game long. If you just put 4 guys out there, not enough time.
I think what I would have done is I would have rushed 3 and had a spy on the QB. So once he
And
leaves the pocket, just have the spy go back.
that worked. They were doing that, and he
Yeah.
was. Yeah.
If you're in Auburn, like everyone in that stadium for Auburn was like, "How did we just lose?"
I mean,
Like,
I think everybody was just like, how did we just lose?
yeah, I Yeah, I think everyone was shocked because I mean,
That's so crazy.
yeah,
Uh,
the
yeah,
Iron Bowl. It's always very entertaining, to say the least.
that's for sure. Games of the week. 5 Oregon versus 3 Washington. Rematch from earlier this year. Is Bo Nix better than Michael Penix? Um, I think they both have their strengths. I think overall, Bo Nix this season has been better. I think overall career, Michael Penix has been better. But this season, I think Bo Nix has been better. He's also had like 9 years in this college football, so it's ridiculous. He's so old.
Yeah, he's been he's been a lot of time. He's already married, you know.
He's been here forever.
Yeah, no, I
He's
think Bo Nix is
been,
better.
yeah.
But I think yeah, Penix is good. The last couple games though, he was playing well up to Oregon, when they played earlier this year, and a couple of games after he's playing well, and then he's kind of a he's had
Hit a
some
cliff.
he's had some like turnovers, a lot of incompletions, some inconsistency, not putting up
Yep.
points, and I
They
think
almost lost this past week. Well,
to
Oregon
Washington.
State is an exception. That was like pouring the whole game. And they're a good team. The
Oh
Oregon
yeah,
Washington
yeah,
Oregon
yeah,
State
yeah,
game.
yeah.
That
But
game was an exception. But yeah.
I think I think Oregon will beat them, but Washington their offense is what's gonna keep them in the game. Like I think it's gonna be keep up, kind of like last game. I think the end of this final score is 36-33 or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
But I think it's gonna be keep up. I think the defense will get 1 or 2 stops, but it's gonna be a lot of keep up. So Penix has got to be on his game, and as well as Bo Nix.
Yeah. That's gonna be a fun game to watch. I'm expecting a blowout by Oregon, but hoping for a
We'll
Washington
see.
win.
It's the last Pac-12 game ever played, like in conference.
What about Oregon State and Washington State?
I I think because I don't think the Pac-12 is a thing next year. I don't. I think they're just kind of like on their own.
Okay.
So I think I think they should come join the Big Ten, personally.
Honestly, I would. Oregon State could join.
Because
We could have another rivalry.
this is like that's the thing that makes me so mad is like this week or this past like this
If
whole year.
Washington State joins too, a third rivalry.
Well, a lot of teams have like a lot of rivalries are gonna die out. Like Washington,
Or is
Washington
it
State aren't playing next year. Oregon and Oregon State aren't playing next year. Oklahoma State and Oklahoma aren't playing next year. So like all these rivalries that because teams are moving around, all these rivalries are dying out, and so like
the
it's
ones that are going to be kept is the Iron Bowl and the game
yep,
and Army Navy.
yeah, and Army Navy.
But Army's moving to a different conference
I haven't
for football,
yeah
but they'll keep that game.
yeah.
That's a classic. Well, we just went over that. Okay, number 1 Georgia versus number 8 Alabama. Does Alabama upset Georgia? I don't think so anymore.
Why?
I thought so last week, but I don't think so
Oh
anymore. But Georgia played bad too. Georgia was in a 1-score game with Georgia Tech. They only won by a score, 8 points.
yeah, well it's rivalry weekend, so every
Yeah,
team's hyped up.
Beck was
But yeah,
terrible.
you know he's in the Heisman race.
He didn't
Past Marvin
play
Harrison.
well. He didn't play
Yeah.
well.
I think Alabama. I could see him upsetting Georgia. I could see 2 SEC teams in the college football
I could
playoffs.
too. I definitely could.
I don't want Alabama to win because I don't want 2 SEC teams to be in the playoffs. But I don't know. Nick Saban. I feel like he's gonna get his guys ready. I think Milroe. It depends how Milroe plays against Georgia's defense because Georgia's defense is really good. If he turns over the ball a lot, it's gonna be a tough day for Bama.
Yeah.
But
I don't think it'll happen, but I don't want it to happen. I think there's a shot, but I don't. I was more of a believer in that last week.
yeah.
14 Louisville versus 4 Florida State. Can Florida State become ACC champs without Jordan Travis? No. I don't think
I'm
so.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't think so. I think Louisville, they've had some good wins. They got upset by Kentucky last week, so I was like, I truly thought Louisville was going to beat Florida State in the ACC championship. Then they lost to Kentucky. I was like, oh, I don't know, but I think they're going to win. Their their running backs are really solid, and I think their defense, like Florida State, only put up I think 17 points last game or something. It was super small
Yeah.
against Florida. I know it was in the
Yeah.
swamp and stuff, but I
Yeah.
think Louisville. I think it's gonna be tough. Florida State's defense is gonna have a tough job.
For sure.
Trying to keep
And
them in the game.
Louisville losing to Kentucky was so huge. It gave us a chance. Like that game gave Ohio State a chance to make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true.
Louisville wins that game, and then the winner of the ACC championship would be either undefeated Florida State or one-loss Louisville, who is an ACC champ.
Yeah,
And they beat Notre Dame by more than Ohio State did.
that's right. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah,
They would definitely put them in. So that gave us a tiny bit of hope.
yeah.
Um.
The committee's got a tough job.
Okay.
They
Yeah.
gotta.
So here is we're gonna talk about kind of the playoff madness that could happen. So right now, Georgia, Michigan, Washington, and Florida State, that is 1 through 4 in order, are all undefeated teams. And then it goes Oregon, Ohio State, Texas, and Alabama are all one-loss teams. And those are all 8 teams have a shot to make the playoffs. Alabama and Georgia play. If Alabama beats Georgia, both one-loss teams, Alabama's SEC champs. Michigan could lose.
Hold
What?
on. I want to get in a scenario. If
Okay.
Alabama beats Georgia,
Yeah.
but Washington wins, and Florida State wins, and Texas wins, you would still put in Georgia.
Michigan.
My bad, not Texas. The Wolverines. So all undefeated teams win, but Georgia loses. Do you put Alabama in and not Georgia?
I put Michigan. Yes, I put Alabama in.
Yeah. Okay.
I put Michigan 1, Washington 2. I don't know. Yeah, I might put Washington 1, honestly. If they beat Oregon for a second time,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be. But those two, yeah, Alabama gets in.
Yeah.
Alabama would get in. What if you have Georgia wins, Michigan wins,
Mm-hmm.
Florida State wins, but Oregon beats Washington and Texas wins. Oregon beats Oklahoma State. So you would have Texas, Big 12 champion, and Oregon, Big 12 champion, both one loss. And then you've got one playoff spot left, pretty much.
Oh, that's
Who
tough.
makes it? I put in Oregon.
Oregon, yeah. I'd probably put in Oregon just because
They beat a
their
better
strength
team.
of schedule, I think, is a little better.
Yeah.
They beat a better team, and their strength of schedule is a little better. I think also it depends how both teams win too in the championship game.
That's true.
You know,
what?
That'd be crazy though, because I mean, if you're Oregon and you get in and you're Texas and you're like you are ranked number 5 and just miss it, you're probably pissed because you did everything right. Yeah.
Oh, breaking news: Riley Leonard, Duke's quarterback, entered the transfer portal.
It's because Duke's coach is going to A&M. Actually, he might go to A&M.
Oh. Okay. Georgia wins. Michigan wins. Florida State wins.
Mm-hmm.
Oregon beats Washington. And Texas loses. You've got undefeated Georgia, undefeated Michigan, undefeated Florida State. And then you've got one loss Washington, who lost to Oregon, and you've got one loss Ohio State, who has lost to Michigan.
I think they're still putting in Washington
Because they beat Oregon earlier in the season. Again, this depends on the loss, though. If they get crushed,
yeah.
I would put Ohio State because they lost in a close game to Michigan.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, they beat Oregon earlier in the year, and they made it to the Pac-12 championship. They made it to the conference championship.
And Washington's got a weak schedule for the most part, and they've struggled recently. I wouldn't say super weak, but like it's not super strong. They're similar. They're similar strength schedules.
Yeah. They played Oregon. That was a good game. Oregon State. They played.
And then they played Arizona, who's decent.
Arizona. Yeah.
So similar, but I would if it's a close game, Washington. But if it's a blowout, I think Ohio State makes that. Honestly, Ohio State making the playoffs all really hinges on Texas losing. If Texas wins, we don't have a shot.
Yep.
But we could get in over Washington. Oh, and we need Florida State to lose, I guess.
Is it weird that because I mean I feel like Texas should be ranked. Actually, I feel like Texas should be ranked higher than Ohio State.
Yeah.
I don't know about Alabama just because they had a pretty weak win last week against Auburn.
I'm not mad. Here's the thing: Ohio State lost to, a game they could have won against Michigan, and yes, Texas lost in a game they could have won to Oklahoma, but Michigan's a better team than Oklahoma.
Yeah.
But Texas beat Bama, so.
So. In Tuscaloosa.
I don't think the rankings really matter because it's whatever it's going to play out this year or this week. Like what we're ranked doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's all the scenarios I want to cover. Is there any more I missed?
How about this scenario? Don't know if it's gonna happen, but Iowa upsets the Wolverines, Louisville upsets Florida State, and Alabama beats Georgia. But Washington and Oregon beats Washington.
So you got
Texas win.
So no undefeated teams. So no Michigan teams. Makes it. What's that? Alabama makes it. They're the one seed.
Okay, well, so Texas is gonna make it because they won their Big 12 championship.
Texas will make it. Alabama will make it. Alabama. Yeah.
Wolverine
makes
Oregon.
It. And Georgia makes it. Michigan's out.
You think? I think that actually,
They lost to unranked
Iowa.
Not unranked,
Iowa.
Come on.
Yeah, they probably would. Yeah.
So I think that's my take.
It'd be a pretty crazy outcome if that happened.
Very crazy. Okay, quick pick. Not many this week, but we'll go through them. New Mexico State versus 24 Liberty, Conference USA Championship. Liberty.
Yeah, Liberty. Aren't they? They're still undefeated, right? Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe.
I think I'm pretty sure they're undefeated. They're one of like the 4 or 5 teams left that are undefeated, and James Madison's undefeated, I think, too. Pretty sure James. I think James Madison is.
Liberty is. I believe, yeah. I think they're undefeated. I think you're right. Win. Yeah, they're undefeated.
Yeah, I'll take Liberty.
That's impressive. Props to Liberty. 5 Oregon versus 3 Washington, Pac-12 championship. Oregon. 18 Oklahoma State versus number 7 Texas, Big 12 championship. I'm going with the Cowboys. Oklahoma State. Little upset.
I go with Quinn Ewers, former Buckeye, for one
Yep, yep,
year.
yep. Georgia versus number 8 Alabama, SEC championship. Georgia.
I'll go with Bama.
Okay. SMU versus 22 Tulane, American Athletic Championship.
Tulane.
Yeah. 2 Michigan versus 16 Iowa, Big Ten Championship. Michigan.
Wolverines.
14 Louisville versus 4 Florida State, ACC Championship. Louisville.
Yeah, Louisville.
Okay. NFL. Recap from last week, the 49ers defeated the Seahawks 31-13. Is Geno Smith the future for Seattle? And are the 49ers the best team in the NFL?
Okay, I'll start with Geno Smith.
Yep.
So he's got 2 years left on his contract after this year. He's 33, so he's kind of older.
Yeah.
But I think the Seahawks, I think what they're gonna do is I think they're gonna like take like a QB, like what the Packers did a couple years ago. Maybe try to trade up a couple picks and then take like a QB and have him sit behind Geno Smith for a couple years, maybe like 2-3 years.
Yes.
I think that'd be smart. I mean, Pete Carroll, he's got a good system in Seattle, so I think any QB is going to be pretty successful. But I think, and it might not be like, Caleb Williams or the best QB, but I think a decent QB and have him sit behind, a starter for, or he's been a pro for, how many, like 10 years. So.
Yeah. I think I totally agree with you. I think they draft somebody, but I think Geno, he's a starter for the remainder of his contract. Yeah. And they won't re-sign him or anything after his contract is over.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Goes up. So, yeah. I agree. I think it's going to be a Aaron Rodgers situation.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, 49ers best team in the NFL. No.
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't think they are.
I think the Eagles look the best right now.
And everyone's kind of just like looked past them. I feel like everyone
I agree because
I don't know,
they've had a couple close games, but like they've only lost once. Like I don't think anybody really realizes like how good they've been.
And they beat the Chiefs. Now the Chiefs should have won, but they beat them. They beat the Bills last week in overtime, and guess what? They play the 49ers this week.
That's a gauntlet.
So if they win this week, then yeah, obviously they're the best team. If the Niners win, I think you can make a counter argument. But right now, I think the Eagles are the best team with the last 2 weeks. Their wins.
100%. Jaguars defeat the Texans 21-24. Texans defense struggled. Who wins the AFC South?
Yeah, Trevor Lawrence. He had a good day.
He played well.
D'Amico Ryans could not stop him, which is so surprising.
I think the Jaguars will win the conference. And I think the Texans will make the playoffs, though.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's like the Texans. I think they had the best chance to beat the Jaguars, and they didn't. So yeah, I think the Jaguars will win the division.
Yeah,
Texans will make the playoffs. The Colts, I think the Colts and so me and Eli, I think are going to. We're planning on going to the last game of the season, Colts Texans game.
It's Colts versus Texans, yeah.
It could mean something. I think the Colts will miss the playoffs off of that game. I think they have a very favorable schedule. Like they play in Tennessee this week, and they play in Cincinnati, but Joe Burrow's not there, so we can win that. They play Pittsburgh at home. Is probably that's the only team with a winning record we play the rest of the season. Then we go play in Atlanta, Houston, and Las Vegas. Yeah.
So, I think the Colts will miss, but like I think it'll be I think they'll still have a good record. I believe that game could have a big impact too.
Yeah, and the Titans are coming in last. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know
yeah.
what's going on
Titans are
over there.
terrible.
Yeah.
Eagles defeat Bills 37-34 in overtime. Was this the game of the year? Are the Bills making the playoffs? And Josh Allen has still not won a game in overtime in the NFL.
Yeah.
It's the Josh Allen curse. Can't win in overtime.
Yeah. The Bills, I think they got to rally. I think they will rally to make the playoffs,
Yeah,
but they're not going to win their division. The Dolphins are going to win the division most likely right now. And they got an uphill battle because they're 500, and you got the Colts and Texans sitting in front of you that are, both one game above 500, and the Bills, yeah, they're going into their bye week. So if the Texans and Colts both win this week, you're 2 games back from the playoffs. So they have an uphill climb
for sure.
if both of the Colts and Texans win this week. Even if one of them win, I guess, because they'll both be above 5 or 2 games above 500.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think they make the playoffs.
Yeah,
Allen,
Josh Allen is so good. Josh Allen he struggled this season. Everybody doubts. But he's somebody who's actually done something, unlike Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert still hasn't won a playoff game. Josh Allen has proved himself, and he's been able to win playoff games. He's been able to bring his team together, make it to the playoffs. I don't see them missing the playoffs. They have had a rough start, but I still just cannot see them missing the playoffs.
Yeah, the thing about the Bills, well, Josh Allen, he turns over the ball a lot, which is a problem.
And
But
it's really been this season. He's been better
yeah,
at that, but this season he's kind of reverted back. And didn't he
but
lose his offensive coordinator though?
I don't know if I think he did.
And that's
Um,
kind of been a
but
yeah.
the Bills, like they've played some tough teams, but they like their games like the Broncos at last. I know the Broncos are hot. They're a good team right now. But like they have so many missed opportunities. Like they just can't capitalize, and they're very sloppy. Like they play up or down to the level of the team. Like the Eagles last week, they played up to the level of the team and competed with them and almost won the game. But
Yeah.
like the Broncos, I'm not saying the Broncos are bad, but they played down to the level, and they gave the Broncos a chance every time. You know, the Broncos screwed up, they would screw it up even more. Or
Yeah.
every time the Bills, they had penalties, a lot of penalties. Their game winning or their game tying drive. It they look sloppy in some of their games.
They did for
It's not
sure.
all on Josh Allen. It's also on McDermott, their coach.
Yeah. And the Broncos have looked good, so like
Yeah, I'm
they're not a
trying to.
bad team. But
Yeah, they also lost to the Patriots. I
yeah,
think
that's
the week before. I get Bill Belichick. It's tough to win in New England, but like again, just Patriots are not a good team.
no, not at all.
You got to beat the teams that you can. Like like the teams that you're better on. Like on paper, Bills are winning the game. On paper against the Broncos, Bills are probably beating the Broncos too. You just got to eliminate the mistakes, and that's what is going to separate a playoff team and a team that's not going to make the playoffs.
Yep. Nope. I agree. Games of the week. Seahawks versus Cowboys. Will Cowboys defense stop Geno, and could Dak win MVP? Both yeses. I think Dak is a shot to an MVP. He's looked really good this season, like really good. And I know the Cowboys always disappoint, but this year could be different. Their offense looks really good.
Yeah.
Their defense looks amazing. They lost Travion Diggs, and look who filled in for him. He just set the record for most pick sixes in a season, and we're like halfway through it.
Yep. He has more touchdowns than like Travis Kelce and a bunch of other guys this year.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he's got more touchdowns than all the Patriots receivers. I saw that.
He has more than
Or
Patriots.
the same amount, I think. Yeah.
Titans, yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's ridiculous how good they've looked. And granted, they've played all like I don't think they've beat a team with a winning record.
Um,
but they've
they
looked really good against those bad teams.
yeah. Yeah,
And if
that's
they keep winning, if they make a push in the playoffs, I think Dak definitely would win the MVP.
yeah, the Cowboys are always good in the regular season, then they always fiddle out in the playoffs. So
Yeah.
really
This is even
interesting. This
winning, too, because Patrick Mahomes does not look as good.
I know the AFC is kind of a disaster right now. You have like Russell Wilson leading the AFC right now.
I know. Not good.
Russell Wilson and CJ Stroud.
That's not something I thought I'd hear. But I'm
Um,
not mad.
no, yeah, the Cowboys. I think they'll get the win. I think the Seahawks will keep it close, but yeah, I think Dak's got a good shot of winning the MVP. And Geno could not do anything against the Niners defense last week, and I think it just carries over. Cowboys had a really good defense as well.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. Broncos versus Texans. Do Broncos keep their 5-game win streak? Can Texans defense slow down Russ? No. They don't get their win streak. I think
Oh,
the Texans will beat them.
really?
Yes, yeah, I do. I think CJ Stroud will have a day.
I think it's going to be an offensive game.
Yeah. I think Russ will be slowed down though. I think CJ Stroud is just amazing. Another game-winning drive, perhaps. We'll see.
Maybe. Now Russell's been playing good. It's gonna be a good game. Like beginning of the season, if you had told me this is gonna be a good game, I probably would have thought you were crazy because
Yeah.
last year both these teams were terrible.
Oh my gosh.
And they both started out pretty bad too.
Yeah. I think both the Texans started out 0-2, right?
And the Broncos started out 1-5.
This year? Sheesh.
They've won 5 in a row. They're 6-5 right now. They win this week. This game actually. Well, if the Colts lose, this game will decide who's in the playoffs right now in the 7th seed. If the Colts lose.
Okay. Big game.
Yeah.
Big game. Yeah, I think the Texans will win. What do you
I think
think?
Denver will. I think
Denver?
Russell will. I don't see them
Russ
stopping.
Cooks?
Especially I don't have any faith in the Texans defense after what Trevor did to them last week.
Yeah. That's true. Niners versus Eagles, rematch of the NFC Championship. Can the Eagles get another crazy win? Yes. Yeah. No, I agree with you. I think they're on a roll right now, and I think they stay on that. I think it'll be a really good game though, just like last week. I mean, I think this will be an amazing game.
Yeah, this is gonna be a very exciting game. I think it's a good test to see if Brock Purdy can, because this is a good chance that this could be again the NFC Championship where they face in the playoffs. So it's a good good for the Niners and for everyone else, fans to see where Brock Purdy is. Like, is he, that guy where he can take down the best teams in the NFL, or, is he, just Jimmy G again? Because Jimmy G didn't do a ton in San Francisco, won an NFC Championship, but
yeah,
I think that I feel like it's gonna be a defensive game though. I don't know.
I wouldn't be surprised, but I just think it'll be an evenly matched game. I think it's going to be exciting. I'm excited for this one.
Yeah, this is gonna be a fun game to watch.
Yeah. Quick picks: Seahawks versus Cowboys.
Cowboys.
Colts versus Titans. Colts. Chargers versus Patriots. Chargers.
Yeah, Chargers.
Lions versus Saints. Lions.
Yeah, Lions.
Falcons versus Jets. Falcons.
I'll take the Jets.
Cardinals versus Steelers.
Steelers,
yeah. Dolphins versus Commanders. Dolphins.
And Dolphins.
Broncos versus Texans. Texans.
Broncos.
Panthers versus Bucks.
Bucks.
I'm going with Panthers.
Oh, okay. Well, upset.
Yeah. Browns versus Rams.
Browns.
Rams.
Is
I'm going to Rams.
Deshaun's injured, right?
Yeah, he's out. Niners versus Eagles. Eagles.
Eagles, yeah.
Chiefs Packers. Chiefs.
I'm gonna go with the Packers. I like Jordan Love. I think he gets another
Okay.
win. Mm-hmm.
Bengals versus Jags. Jags.
Yeah, Jaguars.
NBA in-season tournament quarterfinals start on Monday. And we're gonna do a little quick pick. Almost. We're gonna get a little more in depth, but not much because I'm not a big NBA guy. But Celtics versus Pacers. I'm just going. I don't know what either of the records are, but I love myself the Pacers. Go Pacers.
Pacers are looking good. I think they're.
Pacers. I'm sure they are.
I think the Celtics will win just because they have more. Or they're not as young as the Pacers. The Pacers were really young last year, but I think we talked about this. Like they were young, they just missed the playoffs, but they had a really good season, and now
Yeah,
this year they're at full force. They look really good.
they do. They do.
It's been the talk of the town in Indiana. Indiana Pacers and Purdue Boilermakers.
Yeah, no. I just looked them up, and they got a good record.
Yeah.
Oh, you have
Oh
something
no,
else?
I was gonna say both teams are undefeated in the in-season tournament. Both
Yeah,
played good teams. Both had good wins. The Celtics, their side of the bracket was not that great, but I
fun
think it'll
game,
be a
fun
good
game.
game. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's in Indiana too, so it's not in.
yeah. Okay. Pelicans versus Kings. Pelicans. I just know they have Zion, and I'm sure that's gonna anything better than the Kings.
The Kings they're good. They started out like really bad, and they bounced back pretty well.
Who do
They
they have?
they were down last night to the Warriors. Gosh, like I think it was like 74 to like 48. Came
Okay.
back and beat them by like 3 points
Sheesh.
to solidify the spot against the Pelicans.
That's wild. Who's on their team though? Like anybody?
They picked up a guy from the Jazz.
Okay. I'm not gonna know him. You don't even need to try.
Um, yeah. Oh, I said I'm gonna pick the Kings. I don't know who I said I'm gonna pick.
I'm
I don't know if I
Pelicans.
said that. Okay.
Knicks versus the Bucks. I'm going with the Knicks. Because Dwayne Washington Jr. is on that team.
I'm going to the Bucks. They got Lillard. Remember they got Damian?
Oh shoot, that's right. I'm still going with the Knicks.
They beat the
Um,
Heat last night. That was a good game
who
though.
did?
The Bucks did.
I so
But
I'm
Jimmy Butler didn't play.
exactly. Exactly. Doesn't even matter if Jimmy Butler doesn't play. Like it's a pointless game. Ooh, Aiden, guess what?
What?
January 6th, the game that we might go to, Pacers game,
Hmm.
against the Celtics. We could have a little rematch action.
Ooh.
Exciting.
Yeah.
I'm going with the Knicks. Yeah, Dwayne Washington Jr. That's my only reason.
Yeah, I'm going with the Bucks.
Suns Lakers. Oh, wow. Conflicted. Really conflicted. LeBron James is the GOAT, but I really like Devin Booker.
Who's you gonna go with? You know, LeBron James set the all-time record at like last week for the most minutes played.
Minutes
Yeah.
played, yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna go with the young LeBron James.
The young LeBron James.
The young LeBron James. The young kid prodigy.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Lakers too. I think they
Yeah.
rally. I don't know though.
Finally, we agree. Oh, did you take the Pacers?
No.
Okay. Yeah, no, finally we agree. Um, And our last topic, NCAA men's basketball. Number 1, Kansas got upset by number 4, Marquette. Marquette? I say Marquette.
Marquette.
Is Marquette real or fake this year? Well, it appears to me that they're real, but I'm looking them up right now.
They lost to Purdue in the Maui Invitational Championship. Kansas went to the loser bracket, beat Tennessee to win the loser side of the bracket. What were you going to say?
Kansas is now 5.
Yeah. They dropped a little
Marquette's
bit.
now 3.
3,
Purdue is
yeah.
1, and they only lost to Purdue by 3. I think Marquette is real.
They're always
For sure.
they're always good in season, and they don't really do anything in the tournament. I feel like
Louisville's
like,
ranked, or was ranked.
I'm saying like in the tournament.
They lost to Michigan State last year. They were a 2 seed and lost to Michigan State in the second round.
Yeah, but like,
yeah.
they
I
always
think
dominant.
this year's different. This year is different. This year is the year.
I don't know. Well, and
they're
I think
real.
Kansas is a little overrated. They have a lot of young guys. They just have a bunch of like 5-star recruits. I wouldn't put them number 1. They're all like freshmen and sophomores starting. I think in 2 years they're gonna win the national championship, but not this year.
Okay. Purdue wins the Maui Invitational. Is this championship season for Purdue? Last topic, or last discussion point. No. You know who it is championship season for? The Ohio State Buckeyes. We're a basketball school now. We just won a tournament, not the Maui Invitational, but some tournament, and we beat number 17 Alabama, so I don't want to hear it.
Did you know this? That the last 10 national champions, 9 of them won the Maui Invitational.
Purdue is championship bound this year. I'm a Boilermaker, you know? I always have been, always will be. How is it down in Indiana?
Huh? Oh.
How is it down in Indiana? All the Purdue fans are hype, I bet.
Yeah, they're all really hype.
Is Indiana good at basketball?
Like IU, University.
College, IU, yeah.
They're not ranked. They're decent.
I think they make the tournament every year. Yeah.
They lost
Their
a lot of
coach
guys.
is an old guy. Oh, I'm thinking of their football coach. Never mind. I don't know it's their coach. I'm sure they're great.
Yeah, no, they lost a lot of guys. They're not ranked right now.
Okay.
But
yeah, Purdue's championship bound. The college football playoffs, it could go any way, and the Eagles are the best team in the NFL. Thanks for tuning in on episode 46 of the Final Seconds podcast. See ya.